50 yards. That is all that separated the bustling Lagos-Ibadan expressway from a literal factory of death. While thousands of drivers went about their daily lives, people were being processed like cattle, just behind a thin curtain of elephant grass. This isn't a ghost story. It isn't an urban legend. It is a logistics report from hell. You are listening to Echoes of the Unsolved 001, and today we go inside the Soka Forest of Horror. The Soka Forest wasn't a remote wilderness. It was an urban wound. 6 acres of unexplained silence sitting in the middle of a city of 3 million souls. For years, the neighbors smelled it, a sweet, heavy rot that the wind would carry directly into their kitchens. When they complained, they were given excuses. They were told it was a drainage issue. They were told it was a camp for the mentally ill. They were told, quite simply, to mind their own business. In a city where looking the other way is a survival skill, they stayed silent. They stayed silent until the motorcycles stopped. It began with 2 missing men, 2 Okada riders who vanished without a trace. No ransom call, no body, just an empty space where 2 human beings used to be. Their colleagues didn't wait for the police. In the shadows of Ibadan, you don't call the law to find the living, you call them to count the dead. On a Saturday morning in March 2014, a mob of riders traded their helmets for machetes. They didn't want a report. They wanted their brothers. They hacked through the jagged grass, the air growing thick and stagnant. The sounds of the city faded, replaced by a heavy, unnatural stillness. Then they saw it. The House of Horror. A skeletal building flanked by the rusted husks of abandoned tractors that looked like rotting beasts in the mud. The ground beneath their feet felt soft, carpeted by layers of decomposing clothes and thousands of stray shoes. Tiny school boots, women's sandals, sneakers. Then a sound broke the silence, a faint, rhythmic clinking of metal. The riders smashed through the doors, and the world turned upside down. They didn't find their missing friends. They found 23 living skeletons. Men and women shackled by the ankles with industrial chains, their skin literally fusing with the rusted iron. Their eyes were rolled back, their bodies so starved they had forgotten how to scream. But as the rescuers moved deeper into the darkness, the true echoes began. They found the containers. They found plastic buckets filled with dried, blackened fluids. And then, as one rider kicked aside a pile of trash, the first human skull rolled into the light. Then another. Then dozens. The riders began to scream, and finally, the city was forced to listen. As the sirens wailed in the distance, a terrifying realization set in. This wasn't a hidden basement. It was a massive operation. How does a factory of death operate in broad daylight for years without anyone noticing? The answer is much darker than a simple lack of security. But who is paying for this? And where is the registry? The rumored book containing the names of the elite clients who funded this nightmare. Before we move to part 2, I want to hear from you. Do you believe an operation this size could exist without government protection? Drop your thoughts in the comments. The horror is only beginning. In the next episode, we dive into the registry of blood and the terrifying one-chance kidnapping mechanics. You don't want to miss this. Subscribe to Echoes of the Unsolved 001 and hit that notification bell now. The next reveal will change everything you thought you knew about Soka.